We have a $200 per ounce silver projection, but this one's special. This is not from one of the usual suspects. I'm going to share with you later why we want to pay attention very closely to this analyst that's calling for $200 per ounce silver. We're also going to talk about the big silver squeeze. I'm going to give you some insights into that you don't want to miss, and the silver shortage. But first, I want to say thank you for joining me down here in the basement. You're special. You're unique. This is not possible without you. It's a community. So thank you. Thank you. Please subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up. Turn on the bell notifications and leave a comment in the comment section. We read them. That's how we learn, is from each other. Let's start by talking about the big silver squeeze. I've been digging into it. You heard people say that, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, we had a big silver squeeze. Look, I'm in the camp that it was not a silver squeeze, okay? We had a long term. I've heard a couple different ways to describe it. I'll be curious what your thoughts are on this. It was almost like a semi-squeeze, or as we called it, a squeeze. Or I even heard someone else describe it as a slow motion squeeze. It's a good thing. The reason why we're pointing that out is a squeeze in anything, silver, gold, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, whatever, right, is a sharp rocket ship up that is followed by a sharp rocket ship down. Now, sure, maybe Daniel Golly from TD Securities is correct, and we're going to pull back to the mid-40s on silver. I'm not predicting that, okay? I like the $200 silver prediction from a unusual suspect that we're going to talk about a little bit later, right? But the fact that we didn't have a sharp rise up, right? And the reason why, right, is because right now, I've been digging into this, okay? This inventory situation between the LBMA, the London Bullion Market Association, where it all kind of started in London, England, and the COMEX in the US, that inventory imbalance, and that's what Daniel Golly from TD Securities pointed out as his rationale for why we could pull back into the $45 range. It has been rectified, but that doesn't mean that the silver price has to come down. The big key takeaway is this. I don't think that we had a silver squeeze. We may have had a silver squeeze like we talked about over the last 3-4 months. And that's a good thing, because while the price did go up very quickly, right, it didn't go straight up, right? And I believe that what we've seen is a period of time where more and more and more people have gotten into silver, right? And that we're building a stronger and stronger base at a higher and higher level, right? Possibly, okay, I don't want to scare you, we pull back to 50. Possibly we pull back to 45, or maybe even $40 per ounce. It's okay, buttercups. We'll be okay. The long-term situation remains in place. Now, let's move on. We got a lot more to cover, including that $200 silver projection from someone very special. But let's first talk about a silver shortage. This came from Sprott. Everybody knows Sprott, so we pay attention to what Sprott has to say. They put this on X, quote, "The next retail surge could trigger a real silver shortage much sooner than people think." That came from Andrew Slay. Let's just listen to him. There's the key takeaways. This is about 1 minute long, but I think very worth our listen.
And just following some other analysts around the world, I do believe that when the next round of purchasing comes to the public, so the retail spikes up a little bit and we have a run on buying silver, I do think we are going to see a shortage come around in the near future. Don't know when, but I'm not thinking it's a year or two away. I think we're going to see this very soon. And it's super
Very
interesting
soon.
time. I do suggest to people that, you know, with allocations, that means there's restrictions on what dealers can get in Canada to sell for product. The number one issue for people is going to be the availability of silver maple coins, in my opinion. Like, that's the first thing we've seen before being here that sells out first. And so if you are in the silver market or thinking about getting into the silver market, that is what I would be picking up first and foremost, because once we struggle to have those in stock, premiums are going to skyrocket on that. And
so when the general public wakes up, what he's saying is silver maple leafs will be the first to go. Guys, it's critical for us to remember retail demand in the West, in the United States for silver. We have not seen anything happen yet. Don't forget, right? We do this every single live stream when we get together. The people that are out there, the other 96% of people, 98% of people, your neighbors, your friends, think about them, that aren't into precious metals. When they wake up, it will just be almost instantaneous, as we've seen in the past, like during the C-19 crisis and other times, where the shelves get wiped out almost immediately. Remember, information flows much faster now, and purchases of silver and gold for that matter, but we're a little focused on silver today, happen instantaneous. You don't have to hop in your Cutlass and drive down the road to R&J Coin Shop to buy yourself some silver. You can if you like, right? There's still coin shops. I love coin shops. I'm not putting them down. But now you can pick up these things. That's a cellular telephone, right? Literally, think about this. Right now, if we wanted to, we could buy 1,000 ounces of silver in the next 3 or 4 minutes. It can happen. It can happen so fast, right? And it can have a big impact on the overall silver market and the retail silver market. So pay attention. Now, what's going to make that happen? Those people out there, the other, what do we call those people? Do you remember the other 97% of people that they like to believe that this is actually a silver certificate. This, right? Paper money is worth something. And we don't like that it's not. We know the facts, right? But those people, we affectionately refer to them as the sheeple. And when they wake up and they decide it's time, right? But what's going to make that happen? Mainstream media. And is it starting? Is it starting to happen? Well, let's go take a quick look at this, because maybe it's going to give us a little hint about what's to come. This comes from a new headline from our friends at Bloomberg. Okay, they say this just out: silver and copper eclipse gold as the top metals bets on supply fears. People are moving to here. And there's a nice picture of a silver bar. 1 kilogram silver bars. And it said here, silver and copper have replaced gold as the hot metal trade heading into 2026, with institutional and retail traders positioning for record rallies. Silver and copper, institutional and retail. And just in case you forgot, that came from Bloomberg. And Bloomberg is by far one of the top, if not the top, mainstream financial media outlets. Guys, it's going to happen, right? And there won't be silver available. Now, that's just my prediction. I'm not a financial advisor. You make up your own mind. Listen to me. I'm just a guy in his basement in St. Louis who loves silver, loves gold. But if you want to get your hands on some silver and gold right now, please check out channel sponsor First Mint. They're owned by Keith Neumeyer's First Majestic Silver, who mines silver in Mexico, ships it directly to First Mint in Las Vegas, Nevada, where it's transformed into world-class silver bullion products like this. This is a super cool 10-ounce Folds of Honor bar, I guess you would call it, triangle, but that benefits the Folds of Honor Foundation. You can learn more about it on their website. Folds of Honor provides scholarships to survivors of the deceased and disabled members of the first responder and military. Okay, it's a great organization. You can read all about Folds of Honor. You can read all about First Mint as well at their website, firstmint.com. Let me bring you out there real quickly. It's always fun to visit the First Mint website. Here we go. That's the year of the snake that you're seeing, and firstmint.com. They have, go to the store tab. They have bars, rounds, accessories, the Folds of Honor campaign that I just told you about. Here, let's just click on that real quickly. This is super cool. Okay, you can learn all about what Folds of Honor does. There's a nice video there, and you can look at their whole Folds of Honor product line. They've got a 1 ounce round, the 10-ounce Folds of Honor American flag bar, so it is called a bar, and oh wow, they got a nice gift box. You can read about that, and they have a 10-ounce Folds of Honor bar. Free shipping on orders over $299. Great selection, great prices, and a premium experience. Look, I've gotten a lot of emails from you guys telling me that you gave First Mint a try for the first time and what a great experience you had. So I feel great about having First Mint support our channel, support our community. What about the Singapore Slam? And don't forget, we got the $200 silver prediction from a very special source we're going to talk about in a second. But what about, if you heard of it, it's new to me. I don't know if it's new to you. They're calling it the Singapore Slam. Let's see what we can learn about this. And we will go, here we go, out to the Silver Academy. Hold on here. Here we go. Yep, Silver Academy, India. Don't worry, we're going to get to the Silver Slam, is buying Western price smashes, the manipulation in the Western paper market. Maybe you should follow 250 million people, referring to people in India that will now be using silver as collateral for critical loans. That's actually happening in April, early 2026. Where India has changed their banking regulations, now allowing their citizenship to use silver to get loans. Okay, very, very interesting. Owners do not have to sell their physical silver to monetize anymore. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Indian people love precious metals. Indian people love silver. And there are, like they say, 250 million, according to the Silver Academy, Indian people that own silver and use it as a store of value and have for generations. India unlocks silver's collateral buying power. And number two, owners do not have to sell. Okay, that came, he gave credit to Vince Lancy. Great guy. But what about the Singapore Slam? Have you heard of this? This came from Macro Liquidity. The Singapore Slam was bought by India ever since JP Morgan. And that was a big breaking story last week. JP Morgan moved their physical bullion desk to Singapore. They left to some people, like a skeleton crew, from what I'm understanding, in New York. This was all being reported. I think it was Bill Still, somebody like that, had an email supposedly. But they moved the core of their trading desk to Singapore. These Asian hour slams have become a feature, and they're calling them now the Singapore Slam. Today, India absorbed the hit instantly. Price snapped right back. Tells you who's accumulating, not speculating. And this comes back to what we've heard from Keith Newmeyer, what we've heard from Philip Baker just recently, who was at the LBMA conference, that physical is king now in the precious metals market. The game is changing. All right, let's go out and take a look and get an update on the silver price. Today's a little bit of a down day. Let's check out silver right now. Okay, down 70 cents. Oh my gosh. In the futures market. That's the March futures market. Let's see if we can get a spot price on silver here as well. Okay, the spot price, that's interesting. So the futures is down at this point almost twice as much as the spot price. And again, when that spot price gets above the futures price, we are in a situation called backwardation, which indicates, so we're at 58, and let's go out and look at the futures price. Getting close, right? Only 35 cents higher at this point. When the spot price gets higher than the futures price, that signals that there is a loss of confidence in the market, futures market ability to deliver physical metals. Let's go take a look at this. Okay. Just because we love to look at charts, this comes from Gold Silver HQ. Solar will swallow silver. Solar will swallow silver. Easy for me to say. So this is a new chart that came out. The gray area shows the amount of silver used by solar up through 2024. The turquoise line, okay, this color right here, hold on, there we go, shows projections through the year. That's 2030. That's the conservative projection for demand of silver from solar. The yellow line, the golden line, is the bullish forecast of what the projection of projection of demand for silver from solar would be. And as you can see, that comes all the way up to over 400 million ounces per year. Need I remind you, the entire hold on here. Having some tech issues. The entire mining industry only makes about 800 million, mines about 800 million ounces of silver per year. Most of that silver is a byproduct of copper, lead, and zinc mining. Okay. And on top of that, there's no projection that the amount of silver being mined is going to increase anytime soon because, as we talked about many times, nobody really invested much into development of new silver mines over the last several decades because our friends at the LBMA, who we're so fond of, and the COMEX, had, let's just say, maybe artificially kept the price of silver down. So it's going to take a decade until the mining industry can really react to the higher prices and the higher demand. There were some smart people out there, Keith Neumeyer, Sean Kuhn, other people out there, Galen McNamara. I can name a whole bunch, but there were some smart people that were mining silver, exploring for silver, developing silver mines, but not many. Okay, it's going to be a very interesting period of time as we head into the future. Next, we're going to talk about the $200 per ounce silver projection from the most unlikely source, but one that we can be very, very excited about. Before I do that, I do want to say thank you to First Mining Gold for sponsoring Ron's Basement. They help us get together. It's a company, a stock that I bought, that I believed in long before they sponsored my channel. Okay, they're a development stage gold company in Canada. They have two huge projects, Springpole in Ontario, Du Parquet in Quebec, both of which have millions of ounces of gold in the ground. You can learn more about them at firstmininggold.com. And actually, it's interesting. The company was started by Keith Neumeyer, who was kind of a visionary, right? He looked out years and years in the future. I don't know, maybe 8 years ago, the company was started, and Keith still serves as the chairman of First Mining Gold, as well as being the CEO of First Majestic Silver. Let's talk about the 200. Are you ready for $200 silver? And the big reason why we want to pay attention to this person, okay? This comes from, hold on one second here. Boom. Okay. And then we got another thing to look at on this, but this is very interesting. This came from Silver Gold News. Egon von Gries, I can never pronounce his names. Silver's clear path. Oh, I'm sorry. I misspoke. To over $200 per ounce. He said, quote, we should expect the gold to silver ratio to fall rapidly to below 50 and then move much lower as massive demand outstrips shrinking physical supply. Like Phillips Baker said, like Keith Neumeyer, I've heard him say, this is a physical driven market now. This is a new paradigm for silver. But there's a reason why Egon von Gries is two reasons why we want to listen to him, okay? A return to silver's inflation-adjusted 1980 peak alone would imply prices reaching $200 per ounce. So we're going to come back to this later. But first off, let's pull this up. There is, because we can't get enough of this, the long-term 1980 silver price to 2011 cup and handle formation that we have broken out of now. The textbook, the biggest cup and handle in the history of the universe that silver investors are enjoying right now. And to the right, that shows the inflation adjusted for real. Okay, so that's probably using what they call shadow stats, because most people agree that the current official, quote unquote, inflation numbers that we get from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics aren't quite too accurate. But why do we want to listen to Egon? Here's a reason why. Okay, we've got two reasons why. Number one, okay, he runs the von Gries Gold Switzerland. All right, very, very respected person in the world of precious metals. And you can go to their website here if you like and check it out. That information came from this video right here. What's critical to understand when it comes to him is this. he's not a silver permabull, right? Usually in the past, he's recommended gold, 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 gold. Just recently, and I heard him say this, did he say that now he thinks the potential for silver is absolutely outstanding? And if I remember this correctly, he even said that their clients are now have like a 20, maybe 30% allocation to silver. So very interesting. This is not the big key takeaway here is this is not coming from a precious metals silver permabull. Somebody like me, right? Like I just love silver. I've always been a big silver. I love gold, no doubt about it. I love gold mining stocks, but silver has always been my focus. He is kind of the opposite. He was maybe a little more focused on gold, and now starting to point out that silver has some real potential ahead. But didn't we see earlier in this here meeting that we're having together right now, right, that even Bloomberg is pointing that out? Very interesting developments. Again, thank you for joining me down here in the basement. Don't forget to subscribe. We got more to talk about. Don't worry. But I do want to say one more time for those of you, we've got almost 800 people. Unbelievable. This is a snap live stream, meaning nobody was alerted about this. Okay, guys, we're getting thousands, unbelievable number of views on the channel. I'd like to think it's because of my boyish good looks and dynamic personality, but the reality is it's because more and more people like you are waking up. People who used to be the sheeple. They believed everything they saw on their television set, which is fine. I'm not putting anybody down. Maybe they're happier than I am digging into all this stuff. But more and more people are joining us. You know what that means? Let me tell you what that means. It's incredibly optimistic for silver and gold, because here's a little secret. We are a very small portion of the investing world. We're going to look at a chart in a little bit that's going to blow your minds about that. Okay. So it's just going to take even the smallest increase of people joining us, right? Sheep converts that join us, right, in the silver and gold community can have a massive impact. If we go from 3% of the people in the United States of America who invest in gold and silver to 6%, that's twice as much people. In theory, twice as much money. If we go to 9%, right, that's 3 times. If we go back to historical levels at like 15%, if my math is correct, and I do have a degree in accounting, and yes, I did work for a Big 4 accounting firm, that would be 5 times. So welcome to everyone. Please don't forget, subscribe, all that great stuff. Let's have some fun, huh? Let's have some fun. We looked at the one cup and handle earlier. Let's take a look at the other cup and handle. This came from Digger. Hello, Digger. He says, isn't it up wrong? I got to share the screen with you. Are you going to leave me? Don't leave me. Now you're looking at it. This comes from Digger. Old Digger says, isn't it beautiful? Yes, Digger, I agree. The cup and handle we looked at earlier formed over a 45-year time period. This one, I want to point out to you, we got cups and handles inside of cups and handles, right? Here, look, started there, went here, okay? This was just like, I don't know, October 8th. This, right, was like mid-November. Okay, so we've got, I'm going to draw it in a different color for you. Let's get out the virtual crayons. We'll go with green, right? We've got another cup. See it there? And handle, which, right, as long as we stay above what, about $55 an ounce, we've broken out. This is the part we want to look at. We've broken out, and it's not, see that arrow? That goes all the way up, all the way up. It's not a silver squeeze like we talked about at the very beginning. So we got enough cups and handles to buy grandma a new tea set. We got enough cups and handles inside of cups and handles, right? I used to have them down here. Darn it, what did I do with it? Hold on one sec. Oh, hold on. You can't even see me. Hold on. I'm going to hold on one second. Do I still have it down here? Darn it. Like those Russian nesting dolls, you know, that like fit inside each other. Guys, we've got cup and handles inside of cup and handles that, again, would make grandma on her tea set jealous. All right, let's go look at how undervalued the potential that the metals have. We're going to look at it from a mining stock perspective, and it's crazy. But as the mining stocks get more and more attention, guess what can also happen? When like Wall Street on CNBC, right, starts talking about the gold and silver. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine if they actually talked about silver mining stocks? Number one, the stocks could explode. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but looking at history, that's a possibility. I'll leave it at that. But it will also bring more attention into the overall precious metals. Let's go take a look at this. Okay, it says, look at this chart. The entire market cap, and it says, as you're now looking at, the entire market cap of the global gold and silver mining sector is a rounding error compared to single tech giants. This is a historic mispricing. We're going to come back to the yellow highlights, but what we're going to look at right here is that chart. Guys, down here, okay, this is on the chart. That's the silver mining industry, okay? Can you see it? It's a little tiny gray line. This here is the gold mining industry, a little bit bigger, okay? This here, right, is Tesla. Next to it, crypto. Next to it, NVIDIA, okay? Look at NVIDIA's market cap compared to the entire gold mining sector, and we know how small the silver mining sector is now. Look at these comparisons. Total mining sector market cap versus Tesla alone. The difference is absurd. More importantly, the forward price to earnings ratio of about 13 for quality miners versus 30 to 60 plus for the Mag 7 stocks. Triple digit earnings growth in mining versus slowing growth in tech. This could get very, very interesting, okay? Margins are already exploding. Q3 margins in the mining sector were higher than Tesla. Q4 projections are even higher than NVIDIA. At some point, the general market is going to wake up to this, and we're going to start hearing the people on CNBC and Bloomberg Business and Fox Business focusing on what's happening in the metals sector. Now, look, if the metals correct, I mean, heck, they can even correct, and these companies are still going to be making unbelievable amounts of money. But the reason we're talking about this is because when it happens and when the mainstream media really explodes about the precious metals and people wake up, like we talked about earlier, even just, it doesn't have to be a flood. The smallest amount of money, this is critical. The smallest amount of money coming into the precious metals and the precious metal mining stocks, the smallest amount is going to feel like a flood. Okay. It's going to be like Doug Casey, I believe he's the person that said this. It's going to be like trying to drain Hoover Dam with a garden hose. It just ain't going to work. It's just not going to work. Okay. Hey, thank you for being down here. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate the support. On behalf of Upstairs Susie and myself, we want to wish you a great remainder of your day. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you, yes, you, next time.